Good morning, folks. My name is Kevin Daugherty. I'm with the Illinois Agriculture in the Classroom program, and today I'm here on behalf of the National Agriculture in the Classroom organization as we celebrate our 2020 National Agriculture Advocate Award winner. And in our recognition ceremony today, we're doing things just a little differently. We hope that you've all had a chance to watch the video of today's award winner, Sara Harward, a pre-K-12 ag and her pre-K-12 ag literacy efforts that have been posted to Facebook and are available on the National Ag in a Classroom website. Ms. Harward is able to join us today along with her state contact, Denise Stewardson from Utah. Additionally, we do have representatives from the Grange joining us, including Betsy Huber, and we hope to have Joan Smith joining us. And in the realm of Facebook Live and Zoom, we are having a couple of technical issues, but we're hoping that those will work out as we go. So how things are going to go today. We will discuss what you will see in the video, and if you haven't had a chance to watch it, we hope that you will shortly. Make sure that you make that available to yourself and see what's going on. We'll hear some comments from the Grange, our award sponsor, Betsy Huber and Joan Smith. They'll be asked to make a few comments, and then we'll open it up to questions. So please type your questions in the chat box on Facebook Live. We are recognizing our award winners a little differently this year. Because of the COVID-19 related social distancing issues, we've had to cancel our national conference in Salt Lake City, Utah, but we did not want the cancellation of that conference to diminish the recognition due our 2020 Agricultural Advocate Award winner. Ms. Harward has worked diligently to incorporate agricultural concepts into her pre-K through 12 ag literacy outreach efforts and to educate the students about the importance of agriculture in their daily lives. We are also recognizing our 8 National Teacher Award winners in the month of June using Facebook Live, just like we are today. Please visit the National Agriculture in the Classroom website for a schedule of these Facebook Live recognitions and to learn about these award-winning teachers and how they use ag concepts to teach reading, writing, math, science, social studies, and other subject areas. But we would not be able to hold this recognition program without the support of our sponsor, the National Grange. Today, the National Grange's Betsy Huber and hopefully Joan Smith would like to say a few words about the importance of Agricultural Advocate Award Program and the ag literacy outreach efforts of pre-K through 12. I'll open it up to you, Betsy, and if you would thank you for joining us from the Grange, and thank you to the Grange for your continued sponsorship of our award presentation.
Thank you, Kevin. The Grange Foundation is honored to sponsor the Ag Advocate Award for such a fantastic ag promoter as Sara Harward. Her amazing work, as you will see in her video, if you haven't seen it already, putting together resource packs for teachers, farm camp, and farm field days each year surely spread a great agriculture message in her community. We would like to congratulate Sara from the Grange Foundation and Grange members across the country. Thank you for including me in this presentation. I'm happy to participate. Thank you.
Thank you again, Betsy, and thank you for the Grange's continued sponsorship and partnership with the National Agriculture in the Classroom organization to help us recognize key volunteers. And today, we will recognize Sara Harward, a Utah Farm Bureau Women's Committee District Chair, who helps organize classroom agricultural literacy efforts by pairing American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture's Book of the Year with related Utah Ag in the Classroom lessons, and brings together volunteers to present to both teachers and students across the state. She and her husband are sweet corn and pumpkin farmers, and they host thousands of teachers and students at their farm each year for farm field days and summer farm camps for youth. So with that, I'd like to recognize and turn the floor over to Sara to say a few words.
Sorry, I couldn't get unmuted. I'm just really excited to have this award. I was really surprised when Denise Stewardson of Utah State University said that they had nominated me for the award in the state. And we just really have a great time working with the kids and Utah State Extension down here in Utah County and the Utah County Farm Bureau with Farm Field Days, and enjoy having second graders come to our farm. And then the kids we have from ages 4 to 11 that come with farm camp 2 days a week in June. And we're just are looking to make little farmers and hoping kids will want to be farmers when they grow up.
Well, thank you for your continued efforts, Sarah. We really appreciate that. Because we were supposed to be in Utah, can you give us a little lay of the land of where you're located and tell us a little bit about your farm?
We're 50 miles south of Salt Lake City by Brigham Young University. I'm about 10 minutes away from there. Growing up, the little town I live in is Springville and Mapleton. And we farm in Springville. I live in Mapleton. They were just little towns. It was mostly farmland. Not very many people. Most of the farmland has been taken up by houses and commercial buildings now. We farm, you can see our farm as you drive up I-15. You pass it just as you pass the Springville exit. And we have about 100 acres around my in-laws' home. And then we farm in just little different patches that wherever we can find farmland to lease, we do. And you'll often see our tractors driving through busy streets. It's not a metropolis by any means, but it's just gotten a lot bigger. We're just right at the base of the Wasatch Mountains and at about 4,000 feet. So it's beautiful here.
So for those flatlanders like myself here in Illinois, where we're at about 800 feet, and it continues for about 800 feet for about the next 800 miles, it seems like. You were sharing with us today, although it's 90 degrees here in central Illinois at 9 a.m. Central my time. What's the weather like in Utah today?
It's been raining really hard. We have snow on the top of the mountains, and it's just a typical spring June in Utah. So you never know what kind of weather you're going to get. It could be snow or rain, or it was 90 degrees last week. So it's supposed to be again tomorrow.
And with your sweet corn, so I'm used to knee-high by the 4th of July. If it's 40 degrees right now, what's your sweet corn look like in Utah?
It's still growing. It's looking good. As long as we don't hit 32 degrees, we're okay. We've had a few scares. We usually don't get it until July 15th.
Oh, so
about the middle of July, it was when we get an early variety. So
there you go. And preparing for pumpkins this fall, that's another effort that you make. Preparing for pumpkins. Have you planted your pumpkins yet, or are those on the docket still?
A few of them have been started, but not all of them. We kind of just plant as we can go, and we do the sweet corn in rotations also.
Rotations, right. So now you were mentioning that the area has become more urbanized. So I think that's something that we all see with ag literacy efforts. Can you explain how many of the students in your local area actually have a background and a connection with agriculture?
I would say maybe 5%, if that. It used to be way higher. Everybody farmed, but nowadays there's not very many farmers. People think you're cool when you're a farmer around here anymore.
Oh, that's great. That's good to know. That's what we like to hear. So, yeah. So your farm days and field days, whose idea and how did you come up with that idea?
Okay, so the farm field days, it wasn't my idea. I can't take credit for that. That was Utah State University Extension's idea, and they started it with Utah County Farm Bureau in 1994. My husband and I got involved when we were first married, and around 2004, they needed a new farm to host it at, and so they asked us if we would be willing to do that. And we've been doing it ever since. We had helped a few times at the farm field days and just could see that it was really a worthwhile thing to do. And so we have enjoyed helping and having kids to our farm ever since then.
Now, it is a worthwhile endeavor, that kind of stuff. But how about this? You're in the middle of planting and in the middle of making your living, and all of a sudden you need to stop and host 1,000 students.
My husband does most of that part. I really can't take credit for that. He just gets the guys working. They'll go different ways. Somebody will be planning and doing stuff, and somebody else will be moving straw bales around and making different areas for the kids, because they do about 14 rotations. So they just make the farm and make areas for them to be in different barns and things like that. And they keep the farm really pretty clean most of the time. So luckily it's not too hard to do.
Great. Well, as those students come who have such a limited background and limited knowledge of agriculture, what are some of your favorite memories of some of your students that have visited the farm?
I remember one year we had some corn silage close by as the kids got off the bus, and it was a little smelly, as it can get sometimes, and one kid threw up as they got off the bus. We had to laugh at that. They'd obviously never been around it. But it's just so fun to see the kids and just have it light up in their eyes when they start to realize where their food comes from. I've been to lots of classes. I have 4 kids, and I go to their classes a lot and to other teachers' classes and talk about agriculture. And 97% of the time when I ask, where does your food come from, they tell me the grocery store. And so to be able to go and let them see that everything comes from a farm and have them understand that, and that it's not just the grocery store or the pizza shop or wherever, that they're actually getting it from the farm. And just to have, they love to see the animals, and we have orchard people that come, and we shear a sheep and have them realize that the sheep's just getting a haircut and it doesn't hurt them at all. They just really love that, and it's fun to see them light up and be so excited about it.
Well, you know, one of the activities that you're honored with is your pairing of the Book of the Year activities with Utah-related ag lessons and things that you grow on your farm. They're all great books of the year, but what's one of your favorites? What's one of your favorite activities that's paired with one of those books?
One of the things I've really been interested in is that with this year's Book of the Year, it's Henry Ford. I can't think of the full title right now, but
Full of Beans. Henry Ford Grows a Car.
I remember I saw that book and I thought, what does Henry Ford have to do with farming? And then when I read it, I just thought it was fantastic. And there's a recipe in the back of the book that teaches you how to make soybean plastic, and it's just fun. I haven't had a chance with COVID to go into the schools yet and do it, but I did have one teacher that had read the book to her class, and they were all excited to do it. But it's just was amazing to me, all the jobs that he gave to people. And for different books like that, they just give the kids different perspectives, and they can see where farming can really help people, and how different aspects of farming help people.
Well, from an Illinois soybean producing state, we appreciate you in Utah showcasing soybeans. So we grow plenty of them here. So
yeah, really we don't grow any in our farm, but it's not for the kids to learn about them.
And I think that's important for our students to see too, the diversity of what goes on and where it comes from. So appreciate your efforts with that. One last question from me before we get into questions from for Denise and to share with you from Utah's perspective. Tell me a little bit about your Farmers Little Hands Farm Camp.
Little Hands Farm Camp, we started about 7 or 8 years ago. After being in so many classrooms, I had wondered how I could reach out to different kids and give them the opportunity to come to the farm and know where their food comes from. I had a friend in southern Utah who had started one, and I talked to her about it and decided it would be a fun thing for us to try. We focus on 5 different days. The first day is Animal Day, and they shear a sheep. Well, we have a guy that comes and shears the sheep, so they get to see it, touch the wool, feel the lanolin in the wool, do all of that. We also bring a cow, a dairy cow in from a local dairy farm, and help all the kids milk the cow so they can see where their milk comes from. And we learn all about animals. I use an animal sheet from Utah Ag in the Classroom where they can see the different feed for all the kids, not the kids, but for the animals. The kids can attach the feed to the different animals on the paper, and they just learn all about animals. And this year we're going to make ice cream. In years past, we've done that. And then we switched to butter for a few years, and this year we're going to make ice cream. We also go to we grow mostly hay right on our farm. We have hay growing, and usually I do it the first 2 weeks of June. So there's not a lot to see growing on the farm at that point. And so we take them up to a greenhouse that's in Springville, and they get to see the flowers and learn that at the greenhouse, that's also a farmer too. And they take a tour of the greenhouse. And 1 year we learned about pizza and all the different plants to grow for pizza and the animals. And we just take different things every year because different kids come every year. And then we do a bug day. And that day I was just trying to fill in a day. I didn't know what to do. And it's actually a hit. We have a bee farmer come, and he actually puts his bees on our farm, and he brings some of his bees and teaches the kids all about beekeeping and lets one of the kids get in all his gear. And then I order ladybugs, and the kids get to play with ladybugs and learn how ladybugs are good and how they eat aphids. And then we do a horse day, which is a hit. The kids get to ride a horse, learn all about horses. And the last day is farm safety, and we do my plate, and they get to go on a little hay ride. And then the parents come and ask questions, get to take pictures and see all the big farm equipment, let the kids climb on it and take pictures. So it's pretty fun. And the kids I have kids that come back every year. I still have the same themed days, but I have to kind of switch things up a bit so they don't get bored. But they really have a great time. It's really been a great success.
Well, great, thank you. We'll bring on Denise Stewardson. She is the Utah Ag in the Classroom state contact located out of Utah State University. Denise, why don't you share some of the reasons you selected Sara as examples of her volunteer efforts from your perspective. You have to unmute, Denise.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Kevin. Well, I've known Sara for a few years, and as she so eloquently explained to you about her farm field days, that's where I got to know her. So we're, Utah Agriculture in the Classroom is part of Utah State University Extension. We're up in Logan, so we're we're more than 90 miles, probably 100 and some miles north of where Sara lives. But as she said, Utah State University down in her county, Dean Miner is her extension agent down there, and so he had started to invite us down there to visit. When Sara talks about the farm and being interrupted, it's amazing. Their farm is beautiful. It's just so clean and spotless, but literally interrupting their lives. It is a well-oiled machine. They have over 3,800 students, teachers, and state legislators, Farm Bureau folks show up to that farm every spring. And when you drive in, you're directed by, folks with parking attendants and all kinds of things. It's like a giant carnival. But and so I knew Sara from that experience. And then as she got to work even closer with us through her position as Farm Bureau Women's District Chair in her district, she was very concerned and intent on making sure that the resources that the Farm Bureau Women's Committee used in their Share Book program and in their classroom visits to talk about agricultural literacy tied to Utah core standards. And so she works very closely with us in making sure that the information they present at farm field days and then all of their volunteer efforts in the classrooms do tie appropriately to Utah core standards. And so those are all kinds of the, the nitty gritty kinds of things. But I think the thing that enamored me the most about Sara, and I'm going to get a little teary here when she talks about the fact that there are challenges that farmers face every day. She shares those challenges with students, even as young as second grade at her farm field day. Driving to Utah County, it's the second most populous county in Utah. It's one of the fastest growing counties in the country. And so, years ago when we would first start to visit there, like Sara said, you drive off the main highway in Utah, see their lovely farm, and you'd see just fields and fields, acres and acres of their tomatoes and sweet corn. Now you drive there, and what used to be a tomato field is now a car wash. What used to be maybe a pumpkin patch is now a grocery store parking lot. And so when you talk to Sara about those kinds of challenges, that's where she really, her passion just thrives. And she makes sure that even the youngest of students understands the importance of being good stewards of the land. So it's, you know, there's an economic kind of issue, there's an environmental issue, and she shares all those aspects with everyone who comes to visit her farm. And that's what I love about Sara. We're so proud to have her as our ag advocate.
Well, again, thank you, Denise. And Sara, thank you for your continued efforts. I think that is one of the aspects that I wasn't able to pull before, but as Denise so eloquently put, as a fast-growing county and becoming more and more urbanized, Farm Bureau, the Grange, Extension, all Ag in the Classroom, we're all worried about that, those farmland issues, and more importantly, how to make sure that those who are becoming our new neighbors understand what exactly goes on those farms and how important those are. Obviously, they're there for the view that you've enjoyed for a long time, but there's farmland that's important to that as well. We'll take a moment here and go to some chat questions that we see, and some of those are being fed to me. What do you think, Sara, here's a question. What do you think the prime example, you talked about some of your students that come again and again and again. What's the drawing force? Why do those kids want to come back to farm camp every year?
I think they really love to just see the animals, to interact, be out in the open air, running around, just playing. The equipment fascinates them. The animals fascinate them. I mean, every aspect of it, they're pretty fascinated by. And a lot of them start when they're pretty young. And so I just think that it's just something so different for them. It's sad to say, but it's so different that it's just fun for them, and they like to come and experience it and see it.
And as Denise mentioned, and we hear in the video, we hear in the nominations, the aspect that this is a well-oiled machine, and obviously we're recognizing you, but I have a feeling there are a number of people behind you that you are helping lead with this. Would only be appropriate for you to have an opportunity to give a shout out to some of those others on the farm that are helping with you. You mentioned your husband and some of the field hands, but can you explain part of your team that's helping you with this?
Yeah, Dean Miner, as Denise said, he's the USU Extension here in the Provo area. And him and Belva Parr and the Utah County Farm Bureau and a lot of people, Richard Bailing's our president right now, Dave Robbins, they're just super great. They've been doing this since before I was ever even considered a farmer. And they just know what they're doing. They know the best way to reach out to the kids. And we use a lot of the Ag in the Classroom things at the different stations to give the kids knowledge of different farming aspects in Utah. And they just really do a great job with it.
Well, again, thank you, Sara. Our time here is now drawing to an end, but I wanted to thank you again, Sara. Thank you for your continued efforts, obviously your passion for this. We're really sorry we couldn't be in Utah to see some of the activities that you've talked about. Hopefully we'll get there in 4 years when this is all behind us. We'd also like to thank Denise for your efforts and your willingness to showcase Utah and nominate such an exemplary volunteer. Also, a huge thanks to our partners at the Grange. Betsy, we appreciate your efforts. It's been a number of years that the Grange has sponsored this award, and I truly believe we do have a phenomenal example, again, of the ideals embodied in what this award means, our Ag Achievement Award. Thank you to everyone for participating in today's recognition of our 2020 Agriculture Advocate Award recipient, Sara Harward of Utah. She sets a great example for how volunteer educators can teach students about the importance of agriculture, and we hope you learned something from today's recognition ceremony. We also encourage you to go watch the YouTube video that's available on the National Agriculture in the Classroom website and on our Facebook page. And we invite you to join us for our next one scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday, June 9th at 10 a.m. Eastern, when we'll be recognizing 2020 National Excellence in Teaching About Agriculture Award recipient Suzanne Squires of California. Also, take this time, if you haven't, to register for our National Ag in the Classroom Conference. It'll be coming to you online in a virtual format. We do have a number of great programs that will be presented throughout the day on June 24th and 25th. With that, really, again, want to thank and congratulate Sara for her outstanding work. Thank you, Denise, for nominating and joining us, and also again to the Grange and all the other outstanding sponsors of the National Agriculture in the Classroom organization. With that, if you have questions or comments, please be sure to leave those in the Facebook or comment on our website. With that, we just thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, again, as we recognize more excellence in teaching about agriculture. Thank you.